all the places nobody goes. I wanna teach all the things that nobody knows. I wanna grow wings, leave the coop, learn to fly. Bungee jump from the tallest building in Dubai. I wanna fly around town in my UFO. I wanna eat real food, not the GMOs. I wanna make moves, call the shots like the boss. I wanna love like I never lost.
Welcome back to Desertwood Days, and I am your host, Kathy Blaze. I am here with Mr. Scott LeVesque. Welcome.
Thanks for having me.
Such a pleasure to have you. Scott, you're an actor, screenwriter, filmmaker. You've done a lot in the industry of filmmaking. Could you tell me what inspired you to initially get started?
Just writing. So I think I've always done creative writing. I've always done some type of using my imagination for acting something out. I've always been, like, as a young kid, involved in theater and the arts and stuff like that. So it was kind of a driving point to, at one point, I was getting just a normal, degree kind of deal that wasn't for the arts. It was, psychology based.
Right.
And I was going to do just become a teacher and write. I teach writing and then just write on my own and some books or whatever. But then kind of just hit me at one point. I was like, I have nothing tying me down. And I was just like, I might as well just try to go for it. So then I just found Scottsdale Community College out here. And then I went to their film program, and it was all hands-on learning, which was just great.
I know some awesome people that came from Scottsdale.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
I loved it because of that fact is, here's the equipment, show us what we taught you.
Yeah.
And then you get to, kind of evolve that way. And then ever since I got a chance to just jump in those classes, it just kind of just caught the bug from there. It was just
okay.
I started doing a lot of acting in a lot of the people's projects around. And then I just wanted more and more.
I found that Scottsdale community have some really strong students from filmmaking, from acting, and in theater also.
Yeah.
Anyone that I've known that graduated from Scottsdale, they're very strong actors.
Yeah. I think that their program's pretty solid.
Yeah.
It helped me meet a lot of good people that kind of all went off and did successful things on their own right now.
So you do acting, but you're also behind the scenes as a filmmaker. Are you a director also?
So I have directed some projects through school. I'm working on some projects now that are up and coming that I will be taking on the directing role in those. So writer-director for those.
Okay.
And there'll be local film productions as well. So,
Okay. Do you prefer writing over directing?
I kind of like the collective creativeness as a whole, honestly. I love acting. I haven't acted in a while.
Mm-hmm.
Like the project I shared with you guys is probably the one that is the last one I've acted in for a while, because I just started getting into the writing and creating more. I have stacks and stacks of scripts. I just sit and write, and it's just getting to the point to where it's
You have to do
slowly
some
selecting them and
with those
deciding
scripts,
when I want to
right?
shoot them, and it's all budgetary too and timing.
Right.
But it's like I can't count how many times you hear people always say that, directors or writers that always say things about, oh, finally got around to grabbing this script and doing something with it now, making a movie out of it.
Yes.
It took a while, but it was sitting on my shelf for a longer time. I wrote it for 5 years ago, and so I think that's kind of why I kept that thought process going. Is I'm just going to keep building them up, and eventually I'll just snag one and work on it here and there.
You know what I find talking to actors and filmmakers is that, as a child, we play and we have fun and we enjoy all the things around us, and then we grow up into adults and we forget to play, and we forget everything that we did as a child, and all the things that we loved as a child, such as performing as a child, such as acting as a child. You enjoyed those things, but you grew up and you get adult responsibilities, as we call them, and we forget about all the things that we love. And then sometime in our life, it comes back to us. And we remember, you know what, I think I want to get into acting. But you forget that you were doing that when you were, say, 9 or 10 years old. So do you find that you were going back to those days and you're doing some of the things that you loved back then?
I think honestly never stopped because I have projects when I was a kid, like from way back when I was in high school, where they're like, here in, I would say what, 2000, yeah, early 2000s, like, and they'd just be like, create this project, about lice. And I would have to get really, really in depth and creative with it, like I remember we just did this whole project because our subject matter was some subject matter teaching people about lice. And so we had people dressing up as lice and hanging out in trees, which was, where I was living. So using that imagination, we'll make what we have, the hair, and it's like super close. And so we just did it that way, playing it out, and so I think even as a kid back then, I was still using my imagination somehow to try to, because I'm like, if I'm going to create something, I don't want to just be boring. Why not do something creative with it? Make it kind of entertaining, even if it's funny a little bit. It's like,
do you find yourself having to make many changes to it? Let's say if you had a script when you written when
I think always. And then I think the hardest part is stopping. Being like, okay, I'm good. I need to just let that
let it go.
Yeah, and just let it play out how it is now. Because I think sometimes you can do damage doing too many edits, doing too much with, especially with writing.
That's
writing,
true.
if you're shaping stuff too much, you can kind of wreck it.
You worked with a couple different production companies, Obatwan Studios, and I probably pronounced that incorrectly, and UI Film Production.
So those are just basically, like, right now we're working on some projects that are coming up. One currently in production.
Okay.
And that's the Sound Guy series, which is in production. It's a dark comedy about navigating, a guy and his life in the sound world, navigating through, just basically almost like film stuff that you experience, where it's just constant putting out fires and hurdles of
those things that people
life.
Don't know that's happening in the back. I mean, they see this beautiful movie, but they don't know what that sound guy or that camera guy's back there doing.
And so this is more the music world side of it, but of working in a venue. But that's basically what we're working on now, and trying to keep that as a fully just Arizona kind of production, where everybody working on it's from.
Love it. I love it.
And then just all the locations and everything. It's going to be like a shout out to Arizona. That's what our goal is just having everything where people are knowing, the intro, and these are different places we know. So we're getting into a point now where a lot of these productions, like stuff I've written, stuff that I'm working on with Obit One, which Keith Obit in the area. He has a thing called the Bogcast as well that he does for his podcast. That's all Arizona.
Okay, and that's in the pretty much for the music industry, correct?
No, that was just a podcast. Okay, that's just kind of like a random kind of just like whatever he talks about with whoever.
Okay.
But like that's how that all got we got linked up with acting, and then this.
Okay.
So I've been helping him work on this, and that's just our goal. Is we want to do future projects just incorporating only Arizona people, and just kind of continue to use some of the writing or some of the creative ideas we've come up with to show off the talents of the people around here.
I love that. And you know what? That was the main purpose for the premise of this program, is for our local Arizona talent, to make sure that we're given a platform for them to showcase their work. People such as yourself. You also worked on a new project, Finding Happy.
So this one was actually this is what I was showing of the acting that we did. But this was something I did right at the very, very end, before I left to move to go up to the Pacific Northwest and work on commercials. But it was the last thing I acted in for a while. And it ended up just doing pretty well around the circuit of the film festivals. It won some awards of audience
Congratulations.
choice. And it won a couple little, like best comedy.
Congratulations. So you brought us a media today, a clip of it. So we're going to take a look at it and let our audience see this as well.
Okay, for sure.
I know you don't like pills,
Doc,
but this is going to make you feel a lot better.
I don't.
And the great thing is, they're organic, they're gluten-free, paleo certified, and free of side effects.
I don't know. I'm not really the type to wanna.
Oh, just give it a try. You can always stop. Yeah, let me know how it goes next week. And who knows? You might even meet a girl.
They're gluten free.
Yeah, I know. We had to throw a lot of that stuff. So those are a lot of just little jokes we threw in there just because of the fact that it was like the way I was living at the time, which has kind of changed now with a lot of different responsibilities that picked up or different, just getting busy and then out of routines. But back in that time, I was on a regimen of working out all the time. So I was just like super, super picky about everything that I ate or did. And so it was kind of poking fun at that a little bit and we both kind of were talking about it and put it in there just because of that fact. It was poking fun at me in real life for how clean it had to be.
That was funny. And it's just like, because we were talking about, I don't take pills unless I have to. I mean, I take my allergy pills, but if I didn't take them, I'd be in trouble. But other than that, no, I don't care if they are gluten free.
Yeah. And I'm the same way. I just try to keep things pretty holistic, pretty just natural with my eating still. But it's hard because sometimes ice cream's good.
Yes,
that's
it
the favorite
is.
dessert.
Yes, it
Can
is.
never not eat ice cream.
So, tell us about Finding Happy. You were mentioning that it won some awards.
Mm-hmm.
Tell us about that.
So we ended up. This was Colin O'Brien who ended up. I don't know if anybody knows him, but he's a local filmmaker. He's kind of goes back and forth between LA and now, but he wrote this script and we ended up working on it together. And it ended up just kind of coming together, and it was just more of one of those projects where we're just doing it, for the art of it, but at the same time more for like just having fun. And it was just like, hey, I have to create a project anyway.
And they came across that way to the audience for you guys to win the awards.
I think so. I think they could tell that we had fun and we worked hard at doing it. One of the reasons I chose to work with him was there's like everybody encounters people who it's like, because I even did it when I first got to film school, like, oh, this is going to be fun and games. It's gonna be great. And then I realized how much work it is to actually create something quality, to actually get like the result you want in your head, to have it translate out. It's a lot of work. It's not as much fun and games as, I mean, it is to a point, but not as much. And so that was one of the reasons why I chose to work with him. And so far, he's been the last person I've worked with acting, because he's been that focused of a person to get something across and do a good job at, and just done more projects since that were successful.
So as far as yourself, Scott, is there any new projects that you're working on getting out there?
So I have a sci-fi one in writing that and then a comedy, another comedy.
Oh, okay.
But so I'm about to shoot this comedy pilot. The sci-fi one I had to wait for that'll be local, but it's more of a darker one about stealing people's memories. So it's just like, that's what I'm saying. I can go from that range of writing to.
Can you steal mine? From last week, I ate some ice cream. Yeah, so you can steal that memory.
It doesn't count if I don't remember. And then so it's like the other one though that we're going to be doing sooner than later. After we finish up this Sound Guy series, it's going to be like just an all kind of incorporated comedy similar to The Office, and I can't reveal too much subject matter, but it'll be like a handheld comedy. So it'll be more of like, that lower looking quality, but still, more dependent on the improv.
Is that your go-to style? Do you do sci-fi or comedy?
I kind of just, it's whatever I feel at the time, like whatever story I'm feeling more like I want to write or develop, and then as I write it, I kind of just think about the characters and where it could go. Sure. And so some of them kind of get there, but then a lot of them kind of sometimes might just stay comedy, or I really haven't dabbled in that romance or any of that. Okay. So I haven't dabbled in that writing.
We'll be looking for that. Where can our audience find you?
Right now, just on social media. So the Sound Guy series .com is where a lot of the information for that's going on.
But where can they find Scott?
If they find me, it's just through A Film Road. On Instagram, that's what I use the most.
Okay.
I don't really plug in on a lot of other social media. So.
Sounds awesome. It was such a pleasure having you here today.
Thank you.
Thank you
for having me.
And thank you for joining us today here on Desertwood Days, and we will catch you next time.